Thank you very much, Bilal. If I can ask you to stay on stage and host the next session, please. And please welcome your next speakers to stage.
Thank you. This next session is on ensuring the long-term viability of religious tourism, and I'd like to welcome to the stage the next two speakers. Please come join us. We're very fortunate to have from Taiba Investments, previously from Dur Hospitality, the head of hospitality. Welcome. How are you? Good, alhamdulillah, I'm very well, thank you. And from Shaza Hotels, a Sharia compliant hotel operator, please have a seat. Well, thank you again for joining the panel. Perhaps if Hassan, you could introduce yourself. You have an amazing history in the industry, and I think the audience would really benefit from learning a little bit about you before we dive into the topics.
Thank you very much. My name is Hassan Ahdab. I'm the Chief Hospitality Officer for Taiba Investments. I'm plus 40 years in the industry, and 8 years back I came to Saudi Arabia to join Dur Hospitality. And a few months back we merged with Taiba, so I kept my current job. I traveled more than 12 countries, and in my previous job I was in charge of the Indian Ocean continent for Starwood Hotels and Resort for 15 years. So I started my career at the reception as a front office cashier, and I made it and grew up the ladder to be here today. So this is me.
Thank you very much, Hassan. The first question really revolves around the theme of viability. And we look here at the tourism infrastructure that's been built in Medina, in particular the Haramain Railway and the airport, has really contributed significantly to the city's ability to absorb capacity and absorb the number of visitors coming to the market. The metro system, the rapid transit system, the intention for a metro system are significant. How important is this to ensuring the long-term viability of religious tourism? Hassan.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for hosting me. This is an important panel for us, as one of our core businesses to serve in Mecca and Medina and really serve the pilgrims, whether they're coming for Hajj or for Umrah. I think when you say the sustainability, and you just mentioned that the airport or Al-Haramain, but they are more than this actually to make it sustainable. We need to embark on Vision 2030 and I think the objective to achieve 30 million pilgrims and Haji by 2030. I believe we'll be reaching this number much earlier, simply because if we look at last year, I think the total number of Umrah visitors were 13 million. And we are in 2023, this is 23 numbers. I believe that the entire infrastructure is moving and evolving to ensure sustainability. In the previous panel, we've seen colleagues from Jabal Omar and from Royal Medina. I think these are major players to build up the infrastructure coming up, but other than these two, there are many others. And we in Dur, or Taiba Hospitality today, Taiba Investment, we are one of the major investors in both destinations. So currently we have more than, I'd say, 5 operating properties in Medina and 3 projects coming up. And we have the same, I think we have 5 properties operating in Mecca and a few openings coming up, which we'll talk about later. This is only one of us, but many others. Now, if you look at what the government is doing also, is building up and cleaning up the roads, all the, what we call them, the non-official resident or ashwai, whatever, all construction has been completely demolished and cleaning up the area. Been last week in Medina, and mashallah, things are moving very progressively to do a couple of expansion. I saw the construction on Royal Medina, also our project coming up. If you look at to Mecca, the same way happening in Jamal Abar, phase 1, phase 2, and of course you have Dakhir properties, many projects coming up. All this will make it sustainable and make it achieving the Vision 2030. The previous panel mentioned earlier about that, the undercapacity. I think the capacity is, if you have an operating hotel, you don't like overcapacity. You'd like to be 100% at all times. But I believe the growth is coming simultaneously with the demand. Alhamdulillah, you have 1.8 billion Muslims around the world. All of them, they need to perform the Hajj or Umrah at least once in their life. I'm sure they will not all make it, but even you have a good percentage of these people coming up. So a lot of promises to come up, and we need to be up to speed to host this future pilgrim.
Thank you, Hassan. And Shaji, from a hotel operator's perspective, you understand that the goal is to reach 30 million Umrah pilgrims by 2030, and we've already reached 13 million. What does that mean to you as an operator, and what do you consider to be the key factors that will help not only achieve that, but to foster the sustainability and viability of the market going forward?
Thank you, Bilal. Thank you, Bilal. It's a great opportunity to be here, firstly. As an operator, if you look at the heart of the Vision 2030, it says about the diversification and the competitiveness to increase the competitiveness in the industry. I think as an operator, now our challenge is because the supply is increasing into the demand surging in the two cities. We cannot sustain as an operator to be just a bed and breakfast operator, which used to be for years in the market. We need to bring more guest experiences, cope up with the Vision 2030's other factors, including Ministry of Tourism's initiatives and things coming into promoting the nearby cities. So we as an operator at Shaza, we are very carefully developing those concepts which stands us out of the competition, how you've been chosen as a preferred accommodation provider in the city among hundreds of other hotels. It was not the case before because it was chosen by operators who used to run the show. But right now, the ease of choosing your accommodation provider, your transportation, it's all given to the power of the end user, the pilgrim himself. So we have to sharpen our skills and sharpen our offerings to make sure that it's attractive. So, for example, when Shaza, 15 years back, when we entered Medina market as with our first hotel, how to stand us out was changing the whole offerings of the hospitality by just bringing little disruptions, kind of a kids club, which is unknown to Makkah and Medina, which is very common thing in outside market. Bringing fine dining from these usual buffet concepts of restaurants, bringing spa concepts. So we right now looking at this massive surge, like from in 2019 it was almost 8 million to 13.5 million visitors in 2023. And the demand is increasing, and same time this mega development is bringing so many rooms. What we are doing is now let's diversify from just a typical hospitality experience. Let's bring more into the table. Like we are developing a wellness concept in Medina. So it's not just coming for visiting Prophet's mosque, but let them stay further and use this time to get something extra, which was unknown to the market. So as an operator, we need to keep up with the changing market. Mecca Medina is no more just a pilgrimage city. It's more and beyond that what we have to offer to the end user.
Thank you, Shaji. It's a very interesting point you mentioned about pilgrims having the choice of accommodation. So historically, they'd book through a hamala, and the hamala would control access to the market. I think with the introduction of the online visa, the e-visa, pilgrims are able to directly book from 50 different countries around the world. And they include Muslim countries like Malaysia, Brunei, for example. So competition and choice in the market has meant that the end user can now directly book. What does that mean to you, Hassan? So Mukarram, for example, is a premier Saudi brand, which has built up a reputation in Mecca and Medina. What does that competition mean to you when you have an international market that can directly select the hotel they choose to stay at?
Well, I come from an international background, so I served basically 2/3 of my career in international background and different countries. So I was exposed to different culture, etc., etc. But coming and joining Dur and discovering Makarim brand, okay, and its value, it was a kind of an eye-opener for completely different segments. So let me explain. Makarim is dedicated or open purely to serve in Mecca and Medina, where international brands, you find them everywhere, from New York to China to the Bahamas, and it happens that they are here in Mecca and Medina. We will not go anywhere else. Okay, for the time being, we will really focus and continue working on Makarim. When Makarim is positioned between the 4 and 5 stars as properties in both the destinations. We're building brand new Makarim now in Medina, really 200 meters from Haram, exactly, and this will be our role model. Of course, our pillar is Makarim Ajiyad in Mecca, and then we have few others. When I say few others, we're opening a new Makarim Riwaya in Mecca, 592 rooms, and other hotels also will be branded in Medina after our merger between Taiba and Dur. We have created also another brand called Noor, which caters about the 3 stars, which is an easy conversion brand, and I would say budget-minded for the pilgrims, because as you know, pilgrims come from all the segments, from, I would say, the economic point of view. Back to Makarim on brand, and what is it? Well, Makarim, when it was conceived, it took exactly the journey of the pilgrims. Okay, we mentioned that there is 1.8 billion, and they need to come, if they can, of course, to perform Hajj and Umrah. Most of them save sometimes great amount of money to do this once a lifetime journey. So our role is not to spoil it, it's just to really enhance and work on it. So we take care of the pilgrims from the moment they land in the destination, whether Mecca or Medina, and then we make sure that they benefit and get the most out of it before they go back home, and because they may not come back to Mecca and Medina next time. So what that means from a hotel product point of view, where every other hotel in the world have a concierge. And the concierge role is to book your restaurant, to arrange for your car or limousine to come and pick you up, to make sure that you go to the airport at time, confirming your flight, even printing your boarding pass. This is the right of the concierge. Where the concierge in Makarim is different, is a spiritual concierge. Okay, he's ready at your disposal to explain to you what maybe you miss, maybe you don't know. Because all around this room, we don't all have the same knowledge about really the process and the duties when we're gonna go and perform Umrah. So, and you need a reminder at the last moment before you go and perform Umrah. Performing Umrah takes an hour, I would say, but this hour you need to remember about all the steps you need to do if you don't know them or you forget them. The concierge is ready for that. When people come and stay in for Hajj mainly, and also come sometime for Umrah, they come in groups, and not necessarily they know each other. Okay, they may be from the same city, and maybe different nationalities. We don't know. This is all, you are a number, and you need to come, and this is what you need to do. Well, our job is what? Is really to prepare the room to cater for 4 persons who they don't know each other, but at least everyone having the comfort, whether they have separate beds, every have his own light. We went to the extent even dividing the cupboard or the wardrobe into 4 pieces. Okay, so at least everybody travels light, by the way. They don't come with your 40 Ks plus when they go for Umrah. So we cater for all this. So when these people come and stay with us compared to other hotels, they really find that, they are equal, they go in, and we know that they come for one purpose. So all these details have been conceived during the room preparation. Because when we conceive the rooms and we conceive the brand, we worked out for this to be. And that's why we say compared to other international operators, they have different standards. So our standard is really to cater for pilgrims.
Pilgrim. Hassan, thank you very much. It leads nicely to the next question, which is your thoughts on the new Hajj package booking platforms. So Nusuk and Mutawaf have really changed the way in which the demand and source markets access Mecca and Medina, and the way they book their accommodation, their transport, and so on. Shaji, from your perspective, what has this meant to you as an operator, and how has that contributed to the viability of the market?
Thank you. It's a fantastic question. Actually, embracing the technology. Nusuk is a great platform, especially people like us, operators, connecting to the end user without those intermediaries which used to rule the whole industry. The power is now with the pilgrim directly, which is an amazing thing to do. And that makes us more competitive. So a pilgrim, within 30 seconds, he can take his visa, book his hotel, and transportation is ready. You can't even think about 4 years back, booking a Hajj in 10 steps in your fingertip. Nusuk made everything simplified, which is again the core of Vision 2030. And the amount of marketing they do to promote the destination, the services, and the operators in this main religious tourism is exemplary. They do road shows, they connect us with international tour operators, and what Nusuk made is open doors for new markets which were not that active in Umrah, new territories, new geographical markets, new segments, which is the youth. I mean, we have hotels in Mecca, a hotel in Mecca, Shaza Mecca, and in Medina, which is our second brand, Misk. We see a great surge in youth coming for Hajj and Umrah from France, from CIS countries, from all over Europe, basically, than the traditional market. Why? Because this youth now has the power of choosing their packages. It's not dictated by a tour operator sitting somewhere saying, you must stay 3 nights in Medina, you must stay 5 nights in Mecca. No, I want flexibility. I want to make my choices. So this new generation got the power of choosing his travel package and do his own journey as how he wants. And that's exactly what the industry needed. Nusuk actually also protect the operator from those intermediaries which used to eat a lot of time, money, and control to communicate and work with your end user, which is your bread and butter. So Nusuk is doing an amazing job, and we are getting a huge benefit out of the entire process, what they're doing in the industry.
Thank you very much. Fascinating to see your view on the significance of this technology in driving guest experience and occupancy in the market. The last and final question in the time that we have remaining, it's one that's very close to my heart, and this is Awqaf and the contribution of Awqaf to the viability of Mecca and Medina. And I know, Hassan, we worked together on Dora's joint venture with Awqaf Investments to develop a hotel in Medina, Mukarram. What do you feel is the importance of Awqaf to the industry in Medina and Mecca?
I will answer this in a second. I want to go back to Nusuk first. As the world is going digital, I think it was the obvious way to come and regulate the arrival of pilgrims to the destination. I think the kingdom is very well blessed and advanced on advanced technology for all government dealings. Okay, you have a couple of apps which you can deal with everything else, which I would say fortunately or unfortunately you don't find it in Europe, but fortunately it's available here at the fingertip of everybody. And it regulates even your life for it. So it's everything going digital. For those who knows, like maybe 5 years back and before, definitely before COVID, okay, we were all subject to I would call them the wheeler dealers in the hotels and selling people and beds. And if you pay a little bit, a few reals more, they're gonna remove the guests from here. And you see, the pilgrim were tortured, okay, because they don't know where they stay, etc. So I think the government and the Ministry of Hajj in particular, and this particular ministry, have done tremendous amount of job to build Nusuk and make it the platform and a regulator for everything else. So it's a huge OTA, but platform with everything. And eventually things will expand from it, because once you do this, you can do whatever is happening now in the destination, opening up for other just than visiting the two holy mosques. You can go and see all on the path of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can do many things you can visit Ghar Hira in Mecca, and all this will be accessible to everybody. It's already accessible as we speak.
Thank
so
you.
I think thanks for all of this.
Hassan, so much for your input and contribution. I know we're now out of time, and we could spend another 20 minutes
We
discussing
gained
this.
5 minutes from the previous panel.
But I'd like to thank my guests, Hassan and Shaja, for their participation. And thank you all for listening in on this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.